Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a build guide for the FROSTWEAVER Oakheart Sentinel mod in Baldur's Gate 3. This is a mod that was made by Knightly_ST, and it's based on the 3.5 edition of Dungeons & Dragons Druid, and it makes it into an interesting class because you get the ability to summon in a Ranger's Companion, you get all the awesome spells, and it's got 6 amazing subclasses. I also am making my character look like Emma Frost because Knightly is a fan of X-Men and Emma Frost is in that. So yeah, we'll be going through the full build guide covering gear as well as combat. So with the FROSTWEAVER, we get ourselves the Oak Branch. We also get ourselves Winter's Gift, which is like a cold damage version of Eldritch Blast. And we get ourselves the Orb of Winter doing a 2d6 of, or 2d8 of cold damage. And we get Armor of Agathis, which is an incredible spell. We also get to choose our cantrips here, as this is going to be an ice focused build or cold damage focus. We're going to go with Frostbite to give disadvantage on attack rolls if someone gets close to you, Thorn Whip to pull someone in, and also Gust to push them away. So we got the ability to push and pull as we need it. I also like to take Creator Destroy Water and Ice Knife for extra cold damage, and it fits thematically here. And for our ability scores, we're going to go 16 Dexterity, 14 Constitution, 10 Intelligence, and 18 Wisdom, with skill proficiencies in Persuasion. And again, I'll be covering all the gear that you're going to want to use for this build. You can see here I got an ice staff, so this is something you can run literally from level 1 in the game all the way through the game. Now at level 2, we get ourselves the Oakheart Casting Expertise. So keeping our allies safe in the battlefield, they learn to carefully shape their offensive spells so we don't hit our allies, kind of similar to the Evocation Wizard. At level 2 here, we get ourselves another spell slot. I think Thunderwave actually works very well if you need a pushback. That's great because you can take enemies right off of ledges with that. We also get the spell Chunks of Ice, doing a 3d8 of cold damage. Chunks of icicles fall from your fingertips and create explosions at the target location. And it creates ice surfaces for 2 turns, level 2 spell. And we also get ourselves Shatter, which fits thematically with cold, because when you're cold, you can shatter things. And we get to choose level 2 spells. So what's nice about this, you can replace spells. So early on, we'll take Spike Growth. And later, once we get the Woodland Being, we're going to replace that because the Woodland Being can hold concentration on that for us. And at level 4, we get ourselves another spell slot selection here, and I think that Moonbeam can be a nice spell too. Even the Gust of Wind, this pushes them back, but we already got a version of that too. So you can go with Healing Word too if you want the healing that it brings. Long Strider for the increased movement speed. Fairy Fire can be useful, and even Fog Cloud. We're going to go with Fog Cloud because this can actually be a game changer at times. At level 4, our feat will be Wisdom Ability Score Improvement. So taking our Wisdom all the way up to 20 early on. At level 5, we get ourselves the Companion's Bod, adding proficiency to our armor class and damage rolls with our Companion. And we also get Freezing Rain, call forth a Freezing Rain, and Counterspell, which is a great spell. And we get the ever-powerful Tidal Wave. If you have Mistress Spells mod, I highly recommend downloading it alongside this because this is huge. It sets up water for us, deals bludgeoning damage, and knocks targets prone. And then at level 6, we get ourselves another choice in spell slot. So Freedom of the Waves can be all right. You could go with that, or Call Lightning, which is pretty good for consistent damage mid-game. Plant Growth can also be nice for crowd control, but we want to use Ice Surfaces because that's where it's at. We also get the bonus action Dash, Disengage, and Help for our Animal Companion. Ice Storm as a spell, and Fire Shield, which can also do cold damage. And we get to choose another spell here, so I would recommend the Minor Elementals because we can get the Ice Methods, and then swapping out our Spike Growth for the Woodland Being because that will allow us to hold concentration on that as they can hold it. And then we also get to choose another leveled spell here, so Sleet Storm can be nice, but we also have Freezing Rain, kind of a similar effect. Grasping Vine is a nice bonus action, being able to create a vine that pulls people inwards, so that can be useful. We also get ourselves another feat here, and the Alert feat for the +5 to initiative is very solid to take here at this level. It's for extra survivability. We also get Cone of Cold, my favorite spell in the game, so huge. This is great for damage. And then we can also take some other choices here, like the Conjure Elemental. Because with Conjure Elemental, you can pull in the Water Myrmidon, which will allow you to set up water that way, which is crazy. Level 10, our Beast Companion gets an extra attack, which is massive. I recommend Insect Plague for difficult terrain and piercing damage over time. And at level 11, we get Wall of Ice and Odaluk's Freezing Sphere. 2 very powerful spells, which are cold damage, and I love them. At level 11 here, we get to choose a level 6 spell slot. Elemental Investiture, which is great because you can actually set up immunities and resistances for survivability's sake. Wall of Thorns is good. I like to go with the Conjure Fae because this is just great to have the Dusk Hag You can deal psychic damage, and it's just good for pulling attacks from enemies. And we're going to go with Fisher, knock creatures prone, deals a lot of damage. And we'll go with an ability score improvement to up our dexterity for better armor class, initiative, and just general survivability. Now, what we're going to roll with for this class, so we do get some summons here, and we get the ice methods. So we got, for gear, I like to go with the Hood of the Weave. This is going to be the best choice for increasing our spell save DC so we can land our attacks. I also like the Cloak Protection, the Boots Protection, and the Ring if you got those. But you can also go with like the Boots of Stormy Clamor here, which can stack Reverberation, knocking targets prone, which is really fun. And for gloves, I'm going with the Winter's Clutches, because this can stack 2 turns of Encrusted with Frost whenever we attack for our Abma Frost. I'm using the Black Leather Armor Pants and Gnome Top from, this is from the Basket Full of Equipment. But we can also go with something like the Wave Mother's Robe, because this gives us a free level 4 Create Water. Robe of the Weave is also really nice for getting a little higher armor class. We can get to 23 with a combination of these here. But you can also go with, like, if you got it, the Helldusk Armor, which is going to give you the best armor class at 28. But that may not fit with your current build. Robe of the Weave is also really good. Even early in the game, you can go with, like, whatever armor you got. It's entirely up to you, but the best would be the Helldusk Armor here. And for rings, I like to go with the Snowburst ring, because whenever you do cold damage, it'll make an ice surface below them, so they'll slip and fall, which is awesome. And also Amulet of Greater Health for better survivability and constitution saving throws. Laconia's Walking Fortress, best shield in the game. And also Hellrider Longbow for the +3 to initiative for better, I guess, getting to go first and set up your ice surfaces. I also like the Morning Frost. Whenever you deal cold damage, you deal additional damage. And dealing damage with a spell possibly inflicts chilled on the target, which can also then make them vulnerable to it. But I'd also recommend swapping out the Staff of Spell Power as well, because you get yourself a free cast, and then we can use the free cast to create our Water Myrmidon for free, so that's great. And then also in addition to this, we can then swap out and use Marka Heshker, which is a very powerful staff, which also if you're at the end of the game, you can use Marka Heshker as well, because it also gets a free cast. And you also can do some other things with it, which I'll show you in a second. So we can summon in the Hag here for a free cast. And then we also got ourselves the Woodland Being, so we'll summon that in. And we got our Ice Methods as well, so we can summon them in. And then we also get, I guess, our Ranger's Companions. We got the Classic Companions or the Oakheart Companions. I really like the Owlbear. You can go with the Winter Wolf, though, because this actually fits. It's a perfect companion for FROSTWEAVER, so that's what we're going to roll with here. It's not the strongest, but it's fitting of what we're going to roll with, and it's called Icicle, so that's a cool little pup name. But it has the Frost Breath, which fits perfectly. Inciting Howl can move additional movement speed, which is nice. And it's got a bite attack, so it fits well with this theme, and that's where we're going to go with that. You also got Fire Shield to be able to set up with, and Winter's Gift, which uses your Wisdom modifier, and you get 3 beams similar to Eldritch Blast, which is really cool, so you can go blast with that. Will not react with those. And it still looks like Eldritch Blast, but it does cold damage. And since we have the ring, it creates those surfaces for them to slip and fall on. So yeah, we got some really fun spells, which I'll be covering in the combat section here. And stay tuned. So if you know you're getting into a combat encounter, Tidal Wave is probably the best way to start by creating water and setting up damage early on. Or you can just use Create Water, because Create Water doesn't actually aggro anyone. So that's also really nice. We have a really high initiative, so we get to go first. And Cone of Cold is our first order of business. So it obviously hits in a huge area of effect, but it'll create this water into ice. Of course, we got counterspelled. Should have seen that one coming. We took them out, and we don't have an action anymore. So womp womp. That didn't work out, but we can pretend the Cone of Cold hit, and I'll just use a Mind Blast to, I guess, demonstrate. I missed one of them. I should aim that a little better. But that took out a good number of them, so that'll help out with our combat. We don't have the ice to set up, but I can show you how we can kind of work around that. So since we have so many summons, typically they're going to attack. Oh, we death bursted our ice methods. Whenever the ice methods die, they explode with a ice surface, which is awesome. So that's pretty nice. Sonic Backlash, they keep attacking. A little annoyed we got that counter spell happening, but it happens. So yeah, then we have our Frost Wolf here. So the wolf is great because it can let's see if we can move it over here, and then use Frost Breath here. It has a huge radius, and then boom, it creates ice all the way through. That's perfect. So yeah, good damage there. And then you can also attack again if you got enough movement speed, or you can go with the Inciting Howl, or even the Pounce there, but I'll use the Inciting Howl to give ourselves more movement speed, and that's really good. So we'll roll with that. Then our Water Myrmidon here, it deals cold damage too, so we can actually just set up water right here if we use the Healing Vapors, which will apply water in an area. But we also have the Explosive Icicles. Oops, I hit the wolf. I'm sorry, it missed them. Then it took them out, or almost took them out, so that's perfect. And then we can just follow up with a finisher and hit the Chromatic Orb on them. 45 hit chance. Hopefully it'll hit because it'll take them out. And I blocked it while they were laying down on their butts. So I don't know how that happened, but yeah, the Ice Methods you can't guarantee them to be accurate. Their Death Burst is probably their best benefit, but it's cold damage nonetheless. And here's our Hag. I hope it doesn't slip on the ice. Oh, saved on it. We're in a grove there. And you can apply sleep to a target. Can't hit them. Out of sight. Can't be unconscious, so we'll try to hit that. Okay, perfect. We can put them to sleep. It didn't work for whatever reason. They can't knock prone. Perfect. We got entangled too. That's the nice thing about the Druid, or the Oakheart Sentinel, is you got all these crowd control options. So we entangle them there. That is perfect. And then there's the difficult terrain right there too. So ideal. The Woodland Being is great for crowd control. That's the really best thing about it, because it has that secondary summon, which is really nice, and it has its own spike growth. So, and guess who's back again. I'm gonna blast with this Cone of Cold right here. Cone of Cold is very powerful. You can also upcast it for additional damage, but boom, more ice. And since we have the Snowburst Ring, even more ice. But we also got ourselves a good concentration here with Wall of Ice. So I guess we probably should have had I hope I don't slip. Probably should have put the Disintegrating Nightwalkers on. I should have mentioned that as an item. But Wall of Ice does a lot of damage, so we like it. And we'll drop that down. I was going to use Odaluk's Freezing Spear, but you can see there, creating that Wall of Ice dealt quite a bit of damage. So that is nice. And then we can also use Grasping Vine too if we wanted a little bit extra crowd control, but I think that's pretty good for our turn. And then our wolf here can attack this target that's just stuck here. And they saved on the Pounce for some reason, and we got ourselves immobilized, of course. That happens. We'll go with Highmaul Strike here. Hopefully do a good amount of damage. It was all right amount of damage. And then we can also move him to somewhere a little bit better, because they don't slip and fall, so they don't care about our getting stuck there. And then we can go with a Death Burst on. See if I can get it close enough to Death Burst it. I'm sorry, wolf and tree. Boom. I'm trying to take them out. And I guess we can follow up. Oh, she got entangled. Great, that happens. So he's gonna attack the wolf. I'm sorry, Wolfie. And throw at me, that's fine. I won't even charm him. But the Woodwoad, I guess, was really the reason for this. So we already have we can break our entanglement concentration. I'm just gonna move him in and attack. Did all right damage, 7 and 6. That's pretty good, better than I expected. They're gonna jump down, and they're still stuck right beside the ice wall. So ice wall is interesting. It's not like firewall where people will run through it. It just kind of holds a position. Mass Cure Wounds, we're gonna counterspell that. Sorry, you don't get to cast your spell because we got counterspelled right at the start. So how do you like them apples? But yeah, we got our turn back here in the Freezing Rain. So this I will just drop down to show what this looks like. It's kind of like Sleet Storm, but it deals damage. So yeah, we froze my Water Myrmidon, unfortunately. We froze them too, so that's perfect. And then I guess we can follow it up with, we have Chunks of Ice, which we can just drop. Kind of similar to the version that you get from the Water Myrmidon. Took them out. That was pretty useful. They're frozen. That's where bludgeoning or thunder damage comes in handy. And I guess we'll drop Grasping Vine there, because that's another spell that doesn't get used often. Didn't roll the best initiative, but that's all right. And then we'll use our wolf to attack here, and blocked it. Of course they did. 80% with advantage. 19. That was actually a good boy attack. Hopefully we can get the hag into a good position. Yes, we can. And we'll go with Dream. Psychic damage should finish him off. Perfect. So that is a build for the Oakheart Sentinel's FROSTWEAVER. Let me know your favorite thing about this in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below if you haven't already. You can also join the Discord, links in the description if you want to thank Nightly for this amazing build, or this amazing mod, because they did a lot of great things with this, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.